A frequency beyond space and time.
Unspeakable knowledge. It is Mad Tower Radio.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Mad Tower Radio. We're here bringing you the truth once again. How's it going, Christian?
It's going great. It's a wonderful day hunting for the truth with the recent developments, a gift from the United States government.
Yes, it has been a busy week for aliens, I guess. Pentagon recently confirmed two videos of UFOs that had been out for a while. The Pentagon just recently came out and was like, yeah, those are real. Pretty
in the correct UFO definition, like unidentified flying object. I don't know if it's like a Ruski rocket or something.
The new definition is UAP, which is unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Yeah.
So
they can include flying light orbs and crazy things like that.
Which there's a theory that was done and changed it from UFO to UAP and didn't really tell anybody, so that when people were looking through all these documents and reports and shit with the Freedom of Information Act, they would see UAP and just be like, oh, what is that? Because they put UFO, everyone's like, oh, fuck, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. But
it draws perfectly into the Project Bluebeam sort of like disinformation tricks that the government used. So if you didn't check out that episode, go back and take a look, because we go right into that.
Mm-hmm. So the 2004 one, that one's just fucking crazy, because when you look at that ship, the shape is so goddamn distinct.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit looks like a fucking like UFO, like a flying saucer. Maybe not like
perfectly stereotypical, like oblong cigar-shaped thing.
Yeah, it was so weird. And then did you see how it fucking like rotated?
It does these crazy like anti-aerodynamic moves. Yeah, for sure.
That shit was crazy. And I liked that the pilots were just like awestruck. It was weird.
My favorite part is the audio from the pilots. He's like, dude, what? Bro, what am I looking at?
Yeah, all sense of like professionalism. They're just like, yo, what the fuck is that thing?
Like in media, you make these, like the air pilots look like these like killers, these professionals. And it's not that they aren't professionals in real life, but they're just people. Like, so if he's flying through the sky and he sees something crazy, he just radios into his bro back at base and he's like, dude, what?
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So the 2004 one, that one's awesome. And then the 2015 one is the one where it's flying across the shape, or it's flying by the water, you know? And they were taking their camera, their AT FLIR pod, and trying to lock onto this fucking thing, you know? And
that was crazy to me. The stabilization, or how like accurate that. Again, is it a camera? Is it like a device?
I have a limited knowledge on aircraft and stuff, but the AT FLIR pod is like a crazy fucking piece of technology. It, like, when a pilot's looking around, he's looking at that. He's not like looking out the fucking cockpit and flying around. He's looking through the AT FLIR, and that's like probably one of the most advanced targeting systems, if not the most advanced like targeting optics system on the planet, you know? And this
it locks right onto it. Yeah.
But this thing was fucking outrunning it. Like they were fucking slewing that thing like probably like 4 times trying to find the fucking, like trying to lock on it before they finally got it. And this thing was just zipping right out of it. It was like that was hard for them to lock onto.
They talk about how it just makes a hard turn directly against the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, how it's like evading or something.
Like this thing, nothing stopped it. It was outrunning our targeting systems. It was flying against the wind. Like, and that was taken from a Super Hornet, an FA-18. And their operating altitude is 50k feet. Their speed is, their max speed is Mach 1.7, right? Which, and this thing was just breezing by.
Yeah, blowing past it.
This thing was just going fast as fuck. Now here's another interesting thing, right? So I was looking at articles that were published about this video back in 2015.
Yeah, back in the day.
Before it was like confirmed, right? And the pilots said that during that time that the pilots would see these things all summer. And not only would they see them all summer, they would be up there for upwards of 12 hours.
Just flying around, just doing their thing.
Yeah. And for comparison, right? The max amount of time that a fucking Super Hornet is staying in the air is like 2-3 hours.
Is that like fuel efficiency, or like it's how much it can maintain staying up?
I think it's fuel efficiency, probably a little bit of both, but either way, like some of our best aircraft like ever, and this thing is just up there for like 12 hours.
Okay, so in your opinion, do you think this could run the range of super experimental flying device, or where does it place itself in your mind?
I don't. No, I definitely don't think whatever it was man-made. I'll just say that, I guess, because.
Okay. Because if the United States had some super powerful crazy ship, wouldn't the other people know about it? Like, what's the like flow of information?
I feel like if it was our fucking crazy ass flying machine ship, they wouldn't be like somebody
freaking out on comms.
Yeah, somebody would know about it, and somebody would come down to these pilots and be like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Calm down. Yeah.
Like, hey, you don't need to know what that was. You just need to know. Shut up about it.
Do your job. Chill. Shut up. Okay.
That's like, and we still wouldn't know about it. That's what I think would have happened if this was like some kind of experimental government thing. And then
what about like a Chinese or a Russian or an Indian sort of experiment?
It could be. It could be, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think that somebody would keep a craft like that that's so oddly shaped, that's so oddly shaped and so much faster without, like, you know, flexing it.
It seems like a flex to me, whether it's the dudes in Communist Party or whether it's the dudes out in like Super Saturn. Like they wanted you to see what they got.
Yeah. Well, that like makes me think like if they're just observing, you know, like because these pilots say that they were seeing them all summer, right?
Like a recon mission or like a scout type deal.
Recon mission, observation. You know, like obviously,
science,
if that's what it was, basically what I'm trying to say is, if they wanted to kill us and they're repping that kind of technology, why are they waiting?
It would have, yeah, they could have blown past.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Well, it's something we've brought up or toyed with before. If something or some civilization is looking, maybe they see these last 50 years or so as a dramatic change for Earth's relationship with space, and if we're going to keep poking out, you got to make sure, you know, we're not either getting too good with it or we're doing something different that will like include you in the broader community, I guess, out there.
Right. I mean, if we are being monitored by aliens right now, this is a critical time in the history of mankind because pretty much since the inception of our planet, we've just been banging rocks together, comparatively.
Yeah, they've been watching for 30,000 years, and they're like, yeah, they got sticks, yeah, they got fire, oh wow, they found out combustion engines, oh wow, they've got radio waves, but come the 40s, come the 50s, yeah.
It's like, dude, look, the humans are trying to fucking leave Earth. This shit is getting wild.
Or even the raw amount of noise we're now spending and sending out into the stars.
Yeah, that's true. We are constantly making fucking noise out here on our little blue rock.
We're the bad neighbors who play their music too loud, and we're just hoping someone comes and files a complaint.
Pretty much that's what we're doing. But from what I could tell, just from watching this thing, it seemed like the pilots were flying around, they saw this shit, and then the whatever it was like, ah, shit, we gotta bug out. They saw us.
Yeah, it looks to be responding or evading based on our observations, do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, who knows how frequently they're coming here, They could, that might have been why they were flying at an altitude that our fighters could see them, is because they haven't been here in so long. They just come down into the clouds and they're like, oh, fuck. They got fighter jets now?
Yeah. Now they have the capability to lock on, follow, respond. Yeah.
Uh-huh. For all we know, they could have been coming back and expecting us to still be worshipping the pyramids, Well,
one of these days they're going to find an RPG for their troubles and not expect that one.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. The RPG will probably just fizzle out against some kind of fucking energy shield.
Crazy gravitational wave beam, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Are you of the mind to not punch up, to not be the aggressor in any kind of alien relationship?
No, we'll get our ass kicked.
Well, for sure, but some people are like, yeehaw, this is Earth, don't come a-knockin'.
I mean, while that's true, we're not gotta be aggressive about it. We can be friends.
I mean, I've seen District 9 and Battle for Los Angeles.
I don't think... Mass Effect is cool and all, but I don't think that's how real alien races evolved, where it was like...
The Space Congress?
No, you know how humans just kicked ass when they started reaching, interstellar travel? And everyone was like, oh my
Instantly,
god,
yeah.
Why are the humans kicking so much ass? And it's like, oh, they spent their entire history fighting each other, so they have really good weapons. I don't think we're the only ones who spent our entire history fighting each other. I don't...
Yeah, that lame fan fiction of human supremacy in the stars, that's just like a comfort pill for people, I think.
I do not want to fuck around and find out.
Absolutely do not.
We can be friends, we can shake hands, but I don't think we need to start an intergalactic war, because we'll definitely lose instantly.
The side that I'm most curious about in this whole story is why last week did the United States government decide to open up the black vaults?
Oh, well, I'm sure that in 2 months somebody's going to be like, remember when the Pentagon confirmed aliens? And we're going to be like, yeah, that was really cool. And they're going to be like, well, they totally passed this bill under the rug while you were busy with aliens.
Gotcha.
It's what they do every time.
The whole, worldwide plague thing. Sneak it in when people are very seriously dealing with another problem.
Yeah. That's been what they do for ever now. They've been doing that
Absolutely.
for a long ass time. It's just fucking...
You gotta see what the left hand's doing when the right hand's showing you the space aliens.
Uh-huh. It's like that little classroom trick that people do to you in 5th grade where they'd put one of their hands right in front of your face and move in a circle and then, like, hit you in the forehead with the other hand.
What? Did you get, like, sleight of hand hazed as a child?
I did.
I don't remember that trick on the schoolyard.
I do. It was bad, but while this is very cool, just remember to read between the lines, you know?
Absolutely. Stay informed.
That's why the Earn It Act is currently in the House right now.
Oh, yeah. Who's going to worry about the United States just shattering you if we're looking at these cool space boys?
Yep.
There we go.
It is what it is. But, yeah, these UFO videos were super cool. I'm firmly in the school of thought that I don't think those were man-made. I don't think it was explainable.
It makes me wonder, they've selected the ones they want to show, but what are the juicier ones that they're keeping?
It's just leaving you wanting more.
Yeah, it just whets the appetite of, okay, you've got this footage, you have your own explanation for it, but where are the good ones that you are sitting back and going, what in the hell is this?
Well, what are you thinking? Do you think it was man-made, or you think that was some extraterrestrial action that we saw?
I generally just sort of, with the insanity of the distance between celestial bodies, think if we're poking out, if somebody was watching by the time that spacefaring craft was developed on our planet, it would take a little time for either scouts, recon, science vessels to go back, for them to formulate a response to come back and visit us. Or if it was just dudes running through our neck of the universe and they hear some of our frequencies and go to check it out, I think it would take a long time to reach us. And I don't know if it's really a response to anything we're doing yet. It might be like sometime in the future that could happen, but for this one, I'm holding it a little more domestically.
That's totally fair. I mean, like, yeah, you're right. Unless these aliens, and I know it's kind of a non-argument, but we don't know their technology, blah blah blah. You know.
Oh, for sure. This is all based on our frame of reference for things like physics and things like the speed of light, completely within our own understanding.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Are you ready to move on to the meat and potatoes of the show?
It seems like you've got something special for me today.
Sure. So, have you heard of the Rake?
I'm intimately familiar with the Rake.
The scary, spooky, creepy creepypasta monster.
Yes, the bad Photoshop ghoul.
Yes. Well, you're just familiar with it because people post it, or have you actually read into it?
The entirety of my understanding is bad postings of like, bro, I found a goblin, bro, I found a demon in my backyard, and it's horrid Rake photos. It's like the taut skin, like dangly armed, crouching alienoid type beast.
The trail cam one? Yeah.
That's a good one.
So yeah, the Rake, unusually tall, hairless, pale humanoid that crawls on all fours. I went through and actually read the Rake, the first creepypasta story post about the Rake.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, it was just as corny as you'd believe. You see it, and it doesn't actually do anything. It just makes you go crazy.
I didn't know the Rake did that. I thought it would just, get you with your claws.
I don't know. It wasn't very good. It's really, really, really leaning on the cool appearance of the Rake, and that promotional trail cam photo is actually, well, we all know it's a completely doctored image, but it was actually a promotional campaign for the J.J. Abrams film Super 8.
What?
Which I have never seen. I've never seen that movie.
I saw Super 8 in theaters.
Was it good?
No,
Oh.
it wasn't. Some kids find like a Rubik's Cube or like a, what's it called? The Allspark, except it's an alien thing on a train crash. That movie?
Yep, that one.
No, even my underdeveloped like 8th grade mind was like, this is trash.
Yeah.
I don't recall a ghoul in that. What
I don't know.
What was the point?
J.J. Abrams also directed Cloverfield, and
An artist in his prime.
we all know
You mean?
how that went.
I like Cloverfield.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
First one's great, but I don't know. He wants...
So that original image was
Yes.
from Super 8?
Yes, it was part of a promotional campaign for Super 8. The Rake was written in 2006 by a man named Brian Somerville. And it's your standard creepypasta shit. He's a monster, but he doesn't do anything because people just make a monster and then don't know how to write a story. But
Okay.
the Rake is I was in like the extras or like trivia tab on the wiki page for the Rake, and it said it had a little part that I'm sure not many people have read before, but it said even though the Rake is completely fictional, since its inception, people have claimed to see it and things like it in real life. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
I started
A
looking
little
up
teaser.
Rake, the Rake sightings, and it brought me to a phenomenon where people call them anything from crawlers, pale men, pale crawlers, whatever. But the most historically accurate, I guess, is a ghoul.
A ghoul.
A ghoul.
Does that come with any specific classification or any kind of like specific creature or story?
Yeah, so ghouls originate from Arabic folklore, right? And it is in folklore it's spelled Ghul, right? They have a bunch of different names back in way back in the day in the various Arabic cultures, like Gula, Kutrub, Gala, Gallus, like just anything with a G.
I like that one.
But the term ghoul was first used in English literature in 1786 in William Beckford's Orientalist novel Vathek. I don't know anything about that book. I just know that that's the first mention of the word ghoul.
That sounds sick.
Yeah, they sure as shit look like the Rake. Except there's a little more variation. Like if you're on the ghoul page on the Cryptids fandom wiki, the actual like photo that they use for the ghoul is the Rake.
Yeah, no, it's been completely co-opted. That's the ghoul image.
Yeah. There's even a tab on the wiki page where it's like not the Rake. Yeah. So
Just in case.
the Rake is just a ripoff of a ghoul. You know?
Because the story originates in these Arabic cultures, from your research, did you find that modern sightings
There are modern
typically
sightings.
come from the area? Is it from sort of a Middle Eastern centered
kind
area,
of
or are they all
branched
over?
out. They are everywhere. With the first sighting being in 632 AD.
I love that.
Yes.
Where was the 632 one?
I don't know. I can't decipher ancient script.
Oh, you found like a transcript.
I got
from
far enough to where I
1,000
started
years
seeing
ago?
shit in Arabic, and I was like, I cannot read this.
Okay, yeah, no, that's like 2 decades after Arabic is created. It's right there at the beginning of the Islamic Revolution.
Yeah. And the latest sighting on the wiki is 2013.
Okay.
Possible population, small. But yeah, these sightings have gone out, and there's ghoul sightings everywhere. I actually wrote down a couple that I actually wrote down a couple sightings that I'm going to read to you later, but let me tell you a little bit more about ghouls. Ghouls are often associated with skulking in graveyards and consuming human flesh. Other instances of the ghoul can transform and shapeshift into animals, and they lure people away in their animal form, somewhere secluded, and kills them and feast on them. So here's where it gets weird, and the ghouls become a little vampire-esque, right? Ghouls well fed on human flesh are indistinguishable from normal humans.
Oh.
Yeah. And then there's 3 theories on the origins of ghouls, right? And the first theory is ghouls are demons. The second theory is
good one.
Ghouls are the result of human-demon breeding.
Mm-hmm.
And the third is ghouls are normal humans with an ancestral curse.
Like you can just give birth to a ghoul if your bloodline's cursed?
No, I think it's like you become a ghoul. Almost like a werewolf, I guess. The curse just activates at some point in your life.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's even some claims that ghouls can perfectly breed with ghouls or humans. But the hidden ghoul society that we don't know about, they elect to interbreed with humans so that their bloodline doesn't get incestuous to the point of weakness.
Oh, yeah, if they can look like humans, if they can disguise themselves and breed, for sure. It's like the lizard men thing.
Yeah.
Infiltrating society and making eating the dead less culturally taboo.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's not. I didn't know they were so organized. I had never heard anything like that.
Yep, I did not know that, I guess. Other versions of the story say that ghouls can take on the appearance of a person that they've eaten.
That's cool.
And that they gain this they gain their Rake appearance. They go Rake mode when they're starved of human flesh.
Oh, like the more gaunt, the more sickly, creepy is from no body malnourishment. That's awesome.
Yeah. I know it sounds super silly, and you can find a million photos out there of ghoul sightings, but I think this one's pretty cool because it goes way in the depth about like these things having a hidden society, these things, being in tune with vampires, like in the same vein of like, oh, they can hide it, they're fine as long as they eat some human flesh.
Yeah, it's normally I associate ghouls with like the Eastern European type. They skulk graveyards, stuff like that. You might find them in things like The Witcher. It's the necrophages. Like they're pretty prevalent in those types of stories.
Yeah, it is very popular in those kind of stories, but the crazy thing is I had no idea that this thing had origins in Arabic.
Yeah, it's Interesting where stories and creatures get co-opted and what societies are like
Like it goes
writing them into their...
It goes all the way back to like Sumerian.
Okay, like the first societies to sort of organize. That's
Sumerian,
crazy.
Assyrian, Babylonian.
Yeah, like ancient civilizations. You get big enough, you got to start dealing with the dead because you got a large population. That makes sense that they would build these stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. There's like a whole section on biology and habitat on the wiki of the ghoul.
Oh, okay. This one's like a well-informed creature.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, when you have staying power like that, people are gonna bother to learn a little bit about you, I guess. But the fucking Rake, man, the ghoul, it's pretty cool,
I
man.
feel like,
I'll get into these sightings right now. What were you gonna say?
yeah. I was going to say, I don't feel like ghouls get a lot of love in modern media representation stuff.
It's the Rake. He rebranded, bro.
I don't see, there's no, like, movie, there's no horror Rake, there's no, like, I'm not seeing him in the media. My boy needs a new image.
Yeah.
Not internet posting Rake boy.
Well, I mean, horror movies are dead, so.
Dead and gone, unfortunately.
Yeah. So here's this first sighting. Comes a little local to you from Effingham, Illinois.
Ooh.
Yeah, we used to go to college not too far from there.
Yeah, I've been to Effingham. Oh no.
Is that where Megacross was?
Roundabouts.
Yep,
Yeah.
Effingham. You drive through Effingham, there's just a big old fucking sign that says the Crossroads of Illinois.
Oh no. I think you're right.
Yeah. We, actually, let me just fucking search this. Because I want to know how close we were to this Rake.
How near I was to one, like, midnight walk from death.
2 hours. Yep.
Yeah, along the way, to and from school, for sure.
Yeah, so right around home. Effingham. Oh, so, let me start this off. This guy and his 3 friends. We head to Effingham and stop for sodas at a gas station, and then head to the country. It's about 1 to 2 a.m., so it's dark. I see something with yellow glowing eyes off the side of the country road, just past the ditch in the headlights. Too short to be a deer, but too big to be a possum or a raccoon. As we get closer, it gets clearer, and I realize what I'm looking at is skinny, hairless, and gray. Human-like, but definitely not human. Crazy as hell looking thing. It was crouched down. Its arms were incredibly long, and it looked like it could have been 7 feet tall or bigger standing. I can feel myself get cold and my heart race and my hair stand up on the back of my neck. I kind of whisper to myself, "What in the fuck?" And then I heard my friend Harley in the back seat shout, "What the fuck is that?" Complete shock and terror set in, and I can't make a sound. I'm just staring at it. By that time, we are right in front of it, passing it, and it just watches us drive by. It slinks back into the dark, then we all just start screaming, literally freaking the hell out. I was convinced it was a demon for months, but I still doubted myself even seeing it, thinking my mind was playing tricks on me. We didn't even make it to the Casbah that night. We went straight home.
Scared straight by the Rake. Okay.
Yep. Scared straight by the Rake. Now that story goes on. I'm not going to read all of it because it's very detailed and I don't want to just read it verbatim, but he goes on to say that later that day, or like later that week, one of his friends that wasn't in the car with him tried to prank him and said like, "Dude, look what I captured on my trail cam," and sent him that super popular photo of the Rake
video.
And he said he just got fucking frozen with fear before his friend was like, "Oh dude, I'm just joking with you," and he was like, "Dude, we saw that." Crazy shit.
Like
huh?
that exact look. Okay. No, that's horrifying.
Yeah. The next one comes from California. The witness says this occurred back in 1994 at a place called Willow Creek, where he had been visiting his grandparents' house in the summer of that year. The house is described as a small 2-bedroom place in a rugged wilderness area, with the Trinity River flowing practically right through their backyard, which is overlooked by a deck attached to the house. One evening he went to sleep in a sleeping bag in the house's solarium outside under the stars. Okay, who has a solarium in this day and age?
Californians.
I guess.
1%ers? Okay.
Let me try and get to the good part. I don't want to hear about his grandma's house. Okay. After wiping away the remnants of sleepiness, he realized that he was being overcome with a distinct feeling of dread that snaked through his veins and provoked within him a fight-or-flight response, shocking him awake like a splash of cold water, despite the fact that it was a quiet evening and there was no threat to be seen. He says after some time, he turned his head to look into the yard, and he had turned to his side to lift himself to get a better look. But the source of his feeling was impossible to miss. Standing at the bottom of the yard next to the neighbor's fence line stood a tall, skinny creature with skin the color of the moon. It had no hair on its head or anywhere else that I could see. Its white eyes were shiny. Its eyes were shiny white with a reflective quality, but not bright like a bright light was shining on them. Just moonlight. Its face had human features, but seemed squished flatter. Its arms seemed really long, but that could just be because it was really tall. The chain link fence came up to its armpits, so it had to be around 7 or 8 feet tall. Not enough to just step over the fencing, but I didn't hear it climb over unless it had been in the yard before I woke up, and just didn't get the dread feeling until later. Its body had dirty brown, dark gray looking rags over its chest, and around its hips over its crotch. It was looking right at me. I got scared and ducked down into my sleeping bag as far as I could. My sister has always been a heavy sleeper, and I didn't want to wake her up for this anyway. Next thing I hear heavy steps on the deck coming towards the solarium. There's a wood door with a screened window in the top of it. All was quiet for a while, so I peeked through the small fold in the sleeping bag. Through one of the bottom windows of the solarium next to the door, I saw its large, pale feet. The skin was rough, and the toes were gnarled with dirty nails. I curled up, trying not to make a sound or move much. The bag was getting stuffy. And that's where it ends.
Oh no, that's such a good ending.
I know. So this guy says that it was his ghoul was clothed.
This dude was kind of a poet. That was a lovely story.
I know.
I'm wondering what is the correlation between ghoul sightings and like meth. Because you were saying that one was clothed. If it's just like a tall, gaunt, like methed out dude.
He poked his head out of the sleeping bag. He's like, "Bro, I'm not a ghoul. I'm just high on bath salts."
Something ridiculous like that.
But no, I could see that. And by see that, I mean, like,
just
not at all, really. There's a difference between looking like a crazy crackhead and looking like, you know, a fucking ghoul. Looking like naked Slender Man.
Yeah, just like... It's the, like, consistency in those two stories. Like, the reflective eyes, the long features.
This one was wearing clothes, though. Which is kind of weird. I don't like my ghoul wearing clothes.
Yeah, I don't want them to understand civility. But you said they infiltrate. Like, maybe he was trying to find something to eat. It wasn't working. He was slipping further into that, like, bestial form.
Yeah. Now, the interesting part about these stories is that the appearance of the creature is consistent, but this was all before the Rake got popular.
Oh, yeah, but before the story became big.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty crazy.
And you had said it seems like ghouls have sort of chilled out since then?
What do you mean?
Like sighting frequency?
I mean, they come up every now and then on the sites that I visit, but most people cite it as the Rake.
Oh, now that they have a new sort of nomenclature, they have a new organization for it.
Yeah,
okay.
You know, and like, I get it. These are all just posts on the internet, but like, when somebody says, "Oh, I saw the Rake," I'm less inclined to take your story seriously than if you're like, I saw a ghoul or a crawler or a pale man or something.
When you give it that title,
But if you say, oh, I saw the Rake, you might as well say, oh, I saw the Slender Man.
Who's to say you haven't seen the Slender Man? Those girls in Wisconsin saw the Slender Man.
Jesus Christ. Now they're seeing the inside of a prison cell.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Very topical. Always topical here on Mad Tower Radio. But, yeah. Here's the third sighting, last one I got for you. It's,
Okay.
This happened 14 years ago. My boyfriend and I went to a graveyard one night because he had told me a story about how he had seen something there. He didn't really want to take me, but I insisted. He said that he had heard stories about the place, and if you go there and sit every night, you'd eventually see it. He said he had finally seen the thing himself on the third or fourth consecutive night he visited, and it was manlike and gray. But he had only caught a glimpse of it, and never went back afterwards. I remember him saying he had car trouble when it appeared also. Well, I couldn't resist. I wanted to see it for myself. On the third night, we saw it. We were sitting in the dark, with the moon being the only source of light, and we both suddenly got creeped out for the first time since we had been visiting the place. We changed our minds about the whole thing and decided to leave and never come back, but lo and behold, the car. My car that has never had any troubles, and not again for years after this incident, wouldn't start. My boyfriend was driving that night and kept trying, and it did eventually start up. When the headlight came on full force, we saw it standing right in front of the car.
Oh, shit.
It was about 7 feet tall, and it was gray. In fact, it looked like a moving statue to me. It was kind of bent over, just looking into the windshield at us, and we were freaking the hell out. Finally, it kind of shifted, and the car started. The thing darted off to the left so quick, I knew that if it came to the side windows, we'd both be dead within a minute. It was so fast, but it just stood to the side of the car watching us as we drove away.
No, that's so much worse than running away.
What, it just watching you?
Yeah, if it looks at you and just like steps to the side and says, you can go. Okay.
You can go.
Like, that's way more intimidating than it just like fleeing away at the headlights.
I like that the ghoul has like an aura. He has
like
like
an unfortunate
he has
aura.
like inflict fear, 50 feet.
Inflict engine trouble.
Yeah. But this one was gray.
Yeah, the statue-like quality was interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Rake, all white, but ghouls have been known to come in that variety of white, gray, and black.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like malnourished people. Like their skins can get all these kinds of interesting shades, you know?
Yeah.
Or as people age, as they get sick, as they sort of change, they like splotchiness, discoloration. It's kind of making me think like, where can that connection be found?
You trying to debunk my ghoul here, bro?
No, I'm trying to find out where they are, who they are.
Demons.
I mean, if like,
Or
like you're
human demon hybrids, or cursed people, presumably cursed by a demon.
like if your grandma's rested, and then you see like slightly discolored grandma out in the street the next day.
Yeah.
Like the thing about that story is that the location, they were like, he's here, you're gonna see him here, don't go here, and these people are like, no, we're totally gonna
we're gonna do it.
Like, if the dude is known to roam in that area, why would you want to find it?
Oh, no, yeah. I've always been that guy where they're like, hey, oh, yeah, we've heard of spooky things over here. And then someone's like, do you guys want to go check it out? I'm like, no, absolutely fucking not. Until I started a podcast about cryptids and said I'd go check out this haunted location once quarantine lifted.
Well, now it's for, research.
Yeah, now it's for research. I still don't want to do it. Like, I'm probably going to get spooked. It's probably going to be really hard, but Fuck it, for the people.
For the people. Love it.
For the 30 some odd people.
For now.
But no, I just
Awesome.
wanted to throw in real quick that is still in the works. We are just still on lockdown.
I'm pretty ready to go out and find these things. It's the difference between like a scary atmospheric place and like the monster lives here. Like he roams these woods. I think those are two very different sort of cautionary tales.
Yeah.
Like spooky house versus a bear lives in these woods.
Yeah. Pretty much. People said, hey, don't hang around the graveyard. You're going to see something you don't want to. And they're like, no, let's go. It'll be fun.
Let's do it, dudes. Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty much the Rake /
Okay.
ghouls. I think it's a very interesting thing. I'll keep my eye out on some more sightings for the ghoul.
It kind of freaks me out because I have a show that I'm doing next year in a graveyard.
Oh.
Yeah, I just booked a play, and they're putting it up in one of these really old graveyards.
Yeah, have fun with that curse.
So maybe a ghoul will come and watch.
Maybe you'll get a new curse that'll cancel out your Cherokee curses.
I would do anything to cancel out that curse, dude. If the ghouls are listening, I'll take that.
All folks, you heard it here first. Christian is in search of a new curse. Ghouls, hit him up.
I'm in search of a salve from any demonic presence that's offering.
Yeah, one day I'll get you to open up about your Cherokee curse.
It's coming slowly. If I get a sighting, I'll gush it out if something weird happens again.
Yeah. Are you planning a field expedition of any sort?
I will never go back to those mountains. I mean, probably not, but I'm not looking to.
I will never go back there. Well, I don't know.
If the price is right.
If the price is right.
Now, it's interesting you brought up a sort of renowned internet legend as well as a sort of Middle Eastern vibed cryptid.
Yeah?
Because my story incorporates both of those lovely ingredients.
Let me hear it.
So, the sort of base of the story says that there was this compound in the 1980s in Ong's Hat, New Jersey.
And where?
Ong's Hat, New Jersey. It is actually directly due east of Philadelphia, right in between sort of Philly and the coast.
Okay.
And it says that a number of factions, a number of groups met in these woods in Ong's Hat to conduct these semi-occult, semi-new science experiments.
What?
And it's an entire amazing journey. So I'm just going to start from the top and take you along this ride.
All right, let's roll.
So, New Jersey. It's good old colonial times, and a man by the name, I think it's Jason or Jeffrey Ong.
Okay.
He's a bit of a ladies' man. He's a bit of an adulterer or a player in his day.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a fight with either like a man who he's dealt wrong with his woman, or some it's Jacob Ong, and this woman he either despoils or some sort of story like that. So he throws his hat and it lands on a tree. And they said, fuck it, it's Ong's Hat now, this is the town.
Jesus.
That's the name of this place.
That's so dumb. How do you spell that?
Good old ONG.
Oh. Okay.
good old dumb naming town, and it's had booming and busting populations. Now it's not even a city. It's an unincorporated community. It doesn't have literally anything. There's just a road that's called like Ong's Hat Road right now.
Jesus.
It used to be, a vacation spot. Like people would go out and hang out in the woods.
Yeah.
But in the middle 20th century, it became something new. This ghost town in southern New Jersey starts receiving these stories. This pamphlet starts to run around in the 1980s saying that there's a community of interdimensional travelers.
No.
Yes. It started by two Princeton University scientists who are kicked out due to their work in the chaos studies.
What in the fuck are chaos studies?
That's these occult energies. That's this interdimensional travel. It's like mind wave psionic stuff.
Oh, and you can go to school for that?
It seems like they were doing it like undercover, or they were doing like side work in the chaos studies.
Oh my god.
And they formed this community with the Moorish science ashram. Now, have you ever heard of an ashram before?
Ashram?
Yes, ASHRAM.
No, I've never heard of an ashram.
It is a, I believe, Buddhist term for a sort of secluded sanctuary for spiritual meditation and studies.
Mm-hmm.
It's something akin to like a somewhere a hermit would go to find their philosophical truth in our more Western culture.
Oh, okay.
So this whole group of people who are bringing in and reviving this form of occult study from these Middle Eastern and Indian cultures. They go on this sort of pilgrimage through Iran, Iraq, India, Pakistan, and they pick up all of these occult knowledges in the 70s, and they meet up with these dudes in Princeton, and they go to Ong's Hat to like study this in more in depth.
Jesus Christ. You know what this is sounding like?
What?
This is sounding like Bloodborne.
Oh, dude, you don't even know. Oh my god.
Please.
I'm glad you brought that
Let's
up.
get to the old blood then, I guess.
So they're developing this device, and it's only known as the egg.
Oh.
Uh-huh. They put people in the egg, and there are different iterations of this device. The beginning, you develop enhanced meditation. You develop far-seeing.
Far-seeing?
Yeah, like visions, like being able to look past yourself in an astral projection type sense.
Anyone who went to
refining
Romp's
this
School of Enlightenment just got ripped the fuck off.
They were getting this stuff for free in the woods.
Yeah.
Eventually it becomes controlled lucid dreaming. It becomes rapid healing, remission of chronic conditions, and the absence of illness from spending time in the egg.
What the fuck?
And this pamphlet is after this incidents were happening, after these experiments, and it's going into details and all these amazing like pseudoscience explanations for how this is actually happening, and this is being disseminated all across the country, talking about what's happening in
Was
Ong's
it like
Hat.
an advertisement, like come to Ong's Hat, or was he just flexing that they've mastered the chaos magic?
It was educating people. It was trying to sort of spread the chaos magic, to try and build this community.
Oh, okay.
Now, eventually, the fourth egg gets them to the good stuff. This is where the interdimensional travel happens.
Wait, the fourth egg? Did it break?
The fourth iteration of the egg, it's more powerful, it's more honed, like tuning in on your body's like psycho waves.
Waves.
They put a girl in it, and she and the egg just vanish. disappear from this earth,
Okay.
and then come back a couple minutes later, and they're like, "Oh, we did it, boys.
Okay.
We're hopping universes." So I'm gonna read you this account of what they did with this technology. On the other side of the gate, we found a pine barrens similar to ours, and the pine barrens is where they are in Ong's hat.
Is that like the location?
In a world which apparently never developed human life. Of course, we have since visited a number of other worlds, but we decided to colonize this one, our first Newfoundland. We still live in the same scattering of weather gray shacks, Airstream trailers, recycled chicken coops, and mail-ordered yurts, only a bit more spread out and considerably more relaxed. We're still dependent on your world for many things, from coffee to books to computers, and in fact we have no inclination of cutting ourselves off like anchorites and merely scampering into a dream world. We intend to spread the word.
So these guys multi-dimension traveled to an Earth with no humans.
Yes.
And they're just like, oh, we're shacking up here.
Yeah, they're turning it into their sanctuary.
Insanity.
Now, it's important to sort of lean back a bit and sit on this pine barrens. That's a classification of woodlands that is not agriculturally viable. Things cannot grow here in enough way to make it useful to farm.
Okay.
And it's a part of this huge protected national forest in southern New Jersey. The same forest that our boy, the Jersey Devil, lives in.
So, is there a theory that is there a theory that the Jersey Devil came from the Pine Barrens?
I've not found any connection between those two stories, but I love that they are in the same forest.
Okay.
But the story now is the United States government conducted a raid on this compound. We have stories of survivors from that raid. They said that they came in, either the United States, some other country. It's sort of murky on that detail. But
just some men in black
attacked.
with guns came in.
Yeah, some entity came in, shot, killed, attacked that raid, and eventually some people, I believe, escaped into that other world.
Jesus.
And it says that the Ong's Hat that you can visit today is this haven for supernatural events. They say that there's a bit of a weakness in the difference between the dimensions there, and that people go missing. There's supposedly a gate still there that fluctuates in activity, that you can get sucked in and sent over to the other side.
What the actual fuck? This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
And I found out recently, I was sort of thinking, I was like, this is pretty close. I drove right past this street last summer.
Really?
I was within like 5 miles of Ong's Hat, and not even knowing it.
That is insane. So
Now,
when we come off quarantine, you're gonna go pay it another visit?
Oh, I'm 3,000,000% going back to this place.
That's fucking lit.
People today are like, it's a destination now. It's a supernatural tourism attraction almost. People love going there, but it's almost this half Chernobyl. Like, people don't go there as much. They've left things there. It's like a decayed location.
That's insane.
So I'd love to check it out. Now, a couple interesting notes about this story is Governor Keene of New Jersey at the time has this report from July 10th, 1958 that there was a nuclear weapons facility in a Air Force base not too far away.
Okay.
And there was a huge plutonium spill in that area, and the governor said it's not safe. There's for sure going to be some long-term effects from this event.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people have linked those two things, the development of these chaos energies and that plutonium spill.
How so?
That somehow whatever happened either is either a cause or effect of the chaos energies in that area, or that was the inciting event for government intervention, whether they saw things were getting bad in New Jersey.
Things
are getting crazy.
That is fucking crazy.
And there's a huge community. The Ong's Hat conspiracy is probably the first popularized internet conspiracy.
Really?
I, thanks to the Wayback Machine, found these amazing, massively filled message boards talking about it. Because the pamphlet campaign happened in the 1980s, became this sort of mail conspiracy. People were sending letters, people were using art and the postal system to spread it, and it eventually, as the internet was born, gravitated to that medium. And this, I believe she's a psychologist from Central Michigan University, Mount Pleasant. Her name is Michelle Kinsella. She looked into people who were following this story, getting involved with it, and she reports strange dreams, unusual visual perceptions, and shifts in reality monitoring are found in people who seek the legend and dig further into it.
What?
That it, like, affects your mind to study this and to, like, dig into it and go to this location and follow this story.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's kind of freaking me out.
Get ready to have your fucking mind melted.
It's the actual definition of madman's knowledge. Unknowable truths that shatter your brain for finding it.
Holy shit. I've never heard of this before.
I had no clue. This was so close. I had no clue that this existed, but it's like... The reason I was so excited to talk about it is this is our forefather. This is like internet conspiracy ancestor.
Yeah.
Before the creepypasta, before the Slender Man, it's this.
That's awesome.
And, not to tell you the truth, there's a twist to this story.
Oh no.
So if you don't want the magic ruined, I'd suggest you hop off now. You can sort of live in this terrifying reality that I've built for you.
Oh no.
But the Ong's Hat conspiracy is an early internet mystery. The first internet conspiracy theory and a collective storytelling experiment that started in 1988.
Damn.
Yeah, Joseph Matheny creates this amazingly elaborate hoax story. He sends these emails, he sends these pamphlets, he creates multiple personas, he does in-character interviews with survivors from the compound, and he's playing all these multiple roles, these interviews that he's doing on air as people from the Ong's Hat community.
What the fuck?
He spreads his fan base out across the country. They're called Eggheads.
Eggheads?
Yup.
Damn.
And he had a buddy, Nick Herbert, who was a physicist, who helped adding these just conceivable enough truths using his scientific background. Like in the pamphlet I can send you, they're going in depth on the scientific basis for this, and he's using Nick's support in this story.
Oh, that's fucking cool. So he pseudoscienced it up?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually really cool.
But in these interviews, in these pamphlets, in these sort of mythos that he created, he always gave it a little comedy. He always gave it a little tongue-in-cheek, like, aren't we all having fun? Aren't we all enjoying this cool hoax story that we're living in?
Yeah.
But then there's this amazing escalation he starts to build momentum. It starts to grow on the internet. It starts to grow in this community of people who are following it. He reaches out to people who worked on conspiracies with the Montauk Project. He works on people with the Philadelphia experiment who are talking about their conspiracies. And it loses control. He reports in 1999 that over half of the people in his community did not know it was fake.
No, what?
Yep. He played them. He made this such convincing, such awesome, interesting story that he lost control of it.
So people are showing up like, yo, where's the egg?
He does this in-character interview on Coast to Coast AM, trying to sort of lay this message to rest. There's, in some of the most famous reports and articles you can read about now, people are showing up at his door in California. Like, he's being accosted by people trying to say, the game's not over. Like, why are you not talking about this anymore? It's still here.
Hey, fire up the egg, bitch.
He and Nick, they did this very public announcement. They were like, it's a joke. We don't want to do it anymore. We're not a part of this game anymore. So let me read this out to you and sort of put your mind in an Egghead. You've been following this for like 10 years. You've been getting the mail. You've got the pamphlet. You were a part of message boards. And you hear this from its creator.
Yeah.
Nick and I decided today to publicly announce in the near future that the Ong's Hat project has now concluded. I think we were successful in laying the groundwork for the coming change. The gateways are open now. I am glad to finally be myself again. P.S. This is not a joke.
So, wait, so he just doubles down? He's like...
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm going to
I
set the record straight. It is real. Everyone getting the egg.
It sounds like he's like, I don't want to be in it anymore. I don't want to play this game, so stop bothering me. But if the truth's out there, my dudes.
What a fucking troll.
The final, there's a weird post after the final message where it's like this in-character transcription of him like fighting with someone. He's like, don't say that, you weren't supposed to post that. Like this weird like meta, like he loops it back around at the end.
What?
To separate himself from it but still give it life. And people are reaching out to him today. He's like 57 years old. He says, I don't ever want to do a conspiracy or paranormal radio show, TV, blog, journal, anything ever again. He's pissed. He hates it.
Wow.
He created this monster and now he doesn't want it anymore. And people were showing up at his home. People are going to Ong's Hat in New Jersey and like breathing life into this story even today. You and I are like legacying this story.
Wow. So we're directly contributing to his grief.
We're ruining his life in a way by breathing more life into his lie.
That's insanity.
But it's a super cool lie.
It is.
It's awesome. He's got text. He has mountains of like occult textbooks and transcripts and interviews from Ong's Hat. He creates this like alternate world that you can sort of breathe into. It's awesome.
No, yeah.
I'll send you tons of stuff.
We're living in the fucking Ong's Hativerse.
And like people who are studying internet culture, this new sort of life, directly relate him to things like the Slender Man. Like he laid the groundwork for these internet
for these you don't
realities.
know if it's real, you don't know if it's a creepypasta kind of shit.
Yeah, he directly helped develop this world by doing this first large-scale campaign.
That's insane.
But it's like the work this man put in. These like multiple character phone interviews, these letters he would write as different characters. It was amazing.
Yeah, no doubt that the man's out here hustling. That's fucking cool as shit.
he's burdened by this curse.
I'm just I don't know, dude. So was the psychologist thing, was that fake?
No. No.
So people do be disappearing?
People get people aren't disappearing, but people get freaked out. They like really buy into it.
I can understand why.
Not the part where people are like disappearing in Ongtat, New Jersey, but the part where people, they dig into it, they believe this world, and it starts to affect their mental state.
I think it's crazy that over half of his followers had no clue it was a joke.
The sort of understanding of that event is that's when he reached out to other conspiracy communities, when he started to like associate it with those events.
Mm-hmm.
Like it contaminated his pure narrative.
Insanity.
Like, someone could be like, oh, yeah, the Philadelphia thing. That's because of the chaos magic and Ongtat. It teleported that ship, you know?
That's insane. I fucking love this story.
No, it took me like 3/4 of the way through this for me to find out it was not.
You
not
got fucking duped too!
I got hustled for most of my research. I was like, this is an awesome, like, creepy facility story in the woods. And then they were like, no, you don't even understand, my dude.
Wow.
Oh my god. And it's like everything in our coverage. It's just an introduction. There is so much amazing... There's a story out there for you to follow, and I encourage anyone to check it out.
Man, you got fucking duped, huh?
I absolutely got played.
I got duped
I had to
too.
separate my notes.
You were like, you were like, I'm about to destroy the magic, and I'm like, no, come on. And you're like, and you're like, it was faked, and I was like, damn it.
I wrestled with myself for a little bit on the reporting whether or not I should have revealed this half of the story, but I think it's a part of the package.
No, for sure. That's really fucking cool, actually. I just can't get over how like close to fucking Bloodborne that is.
Yeah, no, I loved that you brought it up. I was like, this is perfect.
Like, it's pretty much the story of Bergenworth.
Or the ghoul. It's this internet culture, breathing life. Like I thought there was this nice synchronicity between our stories.
I know. I was like, oh, I texted you earlier this week. I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about like the origin of the Rake and how it's actually like ghouls and shit. And you're like, we always pick such good sinking stories. And I'm like, what, is he going to tell me the ghoul conspiracy? But no, this is fucking cool as shit.
I spent a good portion of the week on these dusty, ancient message boards, just like reading these like 20-year-old forum posts.
That's insane.
It's like internet archaeology is amazing.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And I'll give you some of my favorites to dump in the links below.
Okay. I mean, here I am being like, the egg? How did they go through 3 other eggs and the 4th one transported? But there's no egg.
I mean, you're gonna find they spent a lot of time talking about the egg and how it's like a deprivation chamber and how it connects with your brain waves and this sort of there's a lot of pseudoscience to back this up.
It is very, very creepy. Like, it's very, very cult-like, very, like, forbidden knowledge-like.
Mm-hmm.
Fake or not, like, this story is just really good.
It's so like big. It's such a like internet phenomenon, almost like this cultural phenomenon that people are now going back around and trying to find out how this could have happened, like why this event occurred right at the dawn of the internet.
That's super cool.
Like, they cite this sci-fi B-movie called The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension that came out right about the same time that the pamphlet first appeared.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love this world that's been built for me.
Yeah.
And I almost don't want to let it go.
No, I wouldn't.
It's people talk about going to Ong's Hat today, and it allows you to sort of trick your brain. It's sort of a perfect place to just believe a little bit when you're there on the site.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
I became destination number 1 after reading all of this.
For sure. Well, everybody, I think that's going to do it for us today. We're going to cut the frequency here and probably hop up in the egg, try and find a world where it was never revealed that this story was fake.
Yeah, I'm going to matrix myself using egg psycho chaos energy to make this real.
Alright, everybody, this is Mad Tar Radio, ending transmission.